wider than a mile. I'm crossing you in style one day. You heartbreaker, dream maker, wherever you're going, I'm going your way. Two drifters off to see the world. There's such a lot of world to see. We're after the same rainbows in just around the bend. My huckleberry friend, Moon River and me. Hey, TVs, I had to have that little 1961 flashback. We're going back to summer of 61 when that was the big hit all over America. Yes, it was. It's Moon River from the movie Moon River. You like that song, Lance? Yeah, that was a wonderful movie. If you've never seen Breakfast at Tiffany's, stars Audrey Hepburn and George Papard. It's just a great movie. I love the book, too. The book, you must read the book by Truman Capote. Truman Capote was actually a very fascinating author. His book is all about, Holly Golightly and her move to the city. But there's a lot of deep philosophy underneath. It's like a comedy book, but underneath it's a deep truth. I don't know. I just like it. Have you ever, any of you read the book? I have the book. I've read it. I don't think I might reread it. Maybe that'd be good to start reading again. What? No, lambs don't read. I know. He said, I don't think I can read it. I don't know how to read. Well, you know how to read astrology charts, I'm hearing. The other day I came in and he was in my computer pulling up astrology charts and trying to read them. And what were you doing when you're doing that? Trying to find if you're Aries, huh? Okay. What? You don't say... Say that again. Baroness Kolobob said she's going to buy you a brand new gold astrology Aries charm. Real solid gold. Well, she didn't get me a gold astrology charm. She's going to get that for you. Well, gosh, she's getting better than I get. What? Oh, we are? I didn't hear that. Say that. Let me make sure. I'm not sure I got that. We're all going to tea at Harrods, afternoon tea at Harrods in London. And I'm paying for it. Baroness, we're going to have a talk after the show. You've been filling his head with all sort of ideas. And she said, you're paying for tea. I'm paying for tea. And something about she might use my credit card to get your gold astrology charm. But she would buy it, but I'd be using my card. What am I going to do, tubies? All right, lambs. Listen, we're gonna have to have a little talk later about it. I didn't approve all this buying gold and going to London and Oh, really? Baroness Lambchop says you told him to start practicing to sleep inside my Louis Vuitton bag so he could be prepared for the flight. Is this true? Well, no. I never said, first of all, I never said you're going to London. And if I'm going, I never said you were coming. Baroness said I would absolutely you'd be absolutely allowed to come. She said she couldn't buy an astrology charm unless you were there in Harrods with her. Oh, dear. We got problems. Baroness, we got problems to deal with this one. All right. Well, I won't be mad at you. Baroness, I might be having a word with you later. Timmy's, if you're like, where am I? Who is this crazy guy? Well, welcome to my channel. This is Spirit Channel. My name is Bob Hickman, also known as Psychic Bob. This is my buddy Lamb Chop. Yeah. And yeah, I know. Lamb Chop's all excited. There's a lot of people here tonight. Look, oh, there's Kimmy. Hey, cousin Kimmy, what you know? There's Denise T. Hello, Denise T. There's Baroness Cole. But Baroness, we got to talk. You got his head filled with notions. There's Robin Boston. Hello, Robin. There's Lady Jane with the Earl Grey teacher. Hey, Lady Jane. There's Robert Stevens. Hey, Robert. Amy Radcliffe. Yay. All right. Yeah, Amy says, Bob, sounds like you're made of money. I didn't approve any of that. Baroness said I did. All right, just calm down. Just calm down. You're too hyper today. All right, drink some tea to settle yourself. This is Earl Grey. What? Baroness, he said that you also told him that I was going to buy him a custom blend tea at Harrods of Earl Grey, custom made by Harrods at the gourmet shop. Oh, Lord. Here, just drink your tea. You're really upset me. Baroness, I hope this is not true. Amy, I'll let you know. We'll keep an eye on this in the coming weeks. Oh my gosh, I can't see. Amsterdamsel's here. Hello. There's Scott from South Carolina. Yay. Scott says, press thumbs up. Only 7 out of 21 watching. Oh, come on, guys. Help Psychic Bob out. It doesn't cost anything. Scott's right, and it helps me an awful lot. Tell YouTube you want Psychic Bob here. Okay? Give me thumbs up. Yay, because YouTube monitors all of that, you know. Oh, there's Starborn 10 is here. Hello. There's let's see, who else is there? Starborn 10, there's Blue Eyes 85. Gosh, we got a lot of people here tonight. There's Denise D. Well, I'm so glad you guys are here. Welcome to our show tonight. Yeah, well, I think you need to go sit down. You've been getting notions in your head tonight that are a little fanciful. It hasn't he been a little fanciful? I think you've been a little fanciful. Okay. So you need to settle it. And you're still wearing my Zodiac pendant. Now I'm really stuck because I don't have an Aries pendant for him. Well, we'll figure something out. Oh. Go over there. And then yes, sit there. Yeah, very good. My Lord, what a night. It's supposed to be my day off, right? I'm supposed to be relaxing. I've been trying to relax, but all day long I keep running into to Lamb Chop doing stuff. I did see him, measuring my Louis Vuitton bag the other day. And I thought, oh, that's nice. He's checking it for the airline. But now I found that he was checking to make sure he'll fit in it with his stuff. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? Anyways, I'm going to sip my tea. Welcome to our show tonight. If you're new here, make sure to hit subscribe, hit thumbs up. Today's Monday, and we do astrology on Monday. Some of you may not know, I've been studying astrology since 1978 when I got my first Sidney Omar astrology book. I was a kid, all excited. I mean, I was standing in a grocery store line. I think I was at A&P. I think it was A&P or Safeway. Might have been, I can't remember. It was one of those, either A&P or Safeway. And I'm not being endorsed by either store. I think it was A&P. But anyways, we're in this grocery store in a line. And you know how they put those book racks up by the registers? Well, they used to do that in the 70s. I don't know if they do that anymore. But there was this book, and it had a guy pouring water and stars all around. And I was like, oh, I want to see what that is. And I looked and it said, Sidney Omar's astrology forecast for 1978 for the sun sign Aquarius. And I was like, hey, I'm looking at the birth dates. I'm like, that's in my birthday. I'm an Aquarius. I didn't know what my zodiac was, but I learned it from Sidney Omar. And I was like, Mom, can I buy this book? And I don't think it was a lot of money. I think it was like $1.79, if I remember. We're talking about 1978. And Mom's like, what is that? I was like, it's astrology. I didn't even know what astrology was, but I just knew it was kind of cool. I said, it's about my star sign. Mom's like, all right, just throw it in the bin. She's like, going to be bothered. And I got him to start reading that book. And I fell in love with astrology. I've been so fascinated by it all my life. I collect astrology jewelry, and I got my big tapestry. And even though I was a medium as a child, as a child I had a lot of psychic visions. Astrology was just something that just captivated me as well. In fact, speaking of jewelry, I'm wearing tonight, unlike Lamb Chop, I don't have any gold I got silver, though. The lamb going to obviously have gold, according to Baroness. It's a little silver zodiac charm. This is Neptune. Sometimes Neptune is used to show the sign of Aquarius. It's a little silver charm. It's hard to see here, but it's Neptune. He's holding a vase with water, and his other hand is a staff. And it says Aquarius, and it says, I can't see what it says here. I don't have my glasses around. My big magnifier's across. Oh, here it is. I do have my magnifier. Hold on, I'll tell you what it says on it. And it's bottom, it says, top says Zodiac, and the bottom says Aquarius. So the top over his head says Zodiac right there. He doesn't see that. Anyways. Anyway, I just love it. I'm an Aquarius. So I'm so glad you guys are here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's good to have you here. We gather every Monday. It's my day off. And I tell you, today I have just been shopping with Baroness and just went out. And I'll tell you, the crowds are out in force already Christmas shopping. So maybe that's a good sign for the economy. Let's hope, we've all been a little concerned about, finances in America, at least, and probably some other places around the world, A lot of people write to me after I do my show, like, PsychicBob, we really enjoyed seeing you on Monday, but why do you work on Monday? It's your day off. You should even take a day off YouTube. And, like I like to say, first of all, where else would I be without my favorite people, my tubies, right? Being with you guys is not work to me. It's joy. And I love astrology so much. This is how I relax. I sit and I play with the astrology charts and look at the alignments, and I get fascinated by it. And that's, to me, that's relaxes. It doesn't feel like work. So that's what I do on Monday. I go shopping, go to lunch. Oh, I had a good lunch today. Barris and I went to this little place called America's Best Wings, and I had delicious fried chicken lunch. It was really Southern American fried chicken and crinkled fries and loads of ketchup. It was good. Now, no vegans attack me. All right? I respect you're vegan, but I'm not. We're not going to get into that. But every time I mention the food I eat, I get hate mail. Just leave it off. If you don't like meat, that's fine. Anyways, I personally believe in I'm a type O, which means that I have to have protein from meats in my diet. Anyways, that's a whole nother video. But I thought it was a good Southern lunch. I'm Southern culture. I'm from Virginia. And I know there are people like Amy, where'd she go? Amy Radcliffe. Now, she's a true Southern lady. She's from Mississippi. And people down there laugh at us Virginians. They're like, you're not real Southerners. But we are technically real Southerners, according to history. Anyways, I'm so glad you're here, There's Melinda Torna. Hey, PsychicBob. Hi, Baroness Colabobs. Hope everything is good. Many blessings to you. Everything is good. I had a really nice day. I've really been on the mend. As many of you know, I've been dealing with an asthma condition. I think I'm on the mend. Excuse me. Still a little congestion. And when I get really excited, my chest seizes. I got to just try to stay calm tonight. I'm just so excited to be here with y'all. I always feel like, it's like our family gathering, So thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for being my family. You guys rock. There's Amy Radcliffe. Amy, are you okay? I'm hearing rumors of a major storm and cars wrecked everywhere. I hope you're in the house safe and not traveling. Let us know what you're doing, okay? Everybody send up a prayer for Amy and the people of Mississippi. It sounds like one major storm is moving through. There's Lady Jane. She says, I find keeping calm helps with it. But Lady Jane, you have asthma as well. I've never had asthma until now. I found out there's a new type of asthma called sudden onset asthma. And it comes from when you're a certain age after 50. I'm going to say everybody has it at 50. Some people are susceptible to it. And I think I'm going to end up having to get an inhaler eventually. But anyways, I'm okay for the moment. I'm doing much better. Yep, just this year and a new type. See, these things are always evolving, aren't they? Well, thank you for sharing. I got it early, me. I've never had asthma all my life. Isn't that strange? anyways, I'm just being very careful. I've been reading up on what to do. And it seems all the asthma cures, like they say, steam yourself, but not too hot a steam, certain middle, milder steam. Everything I've done, it's worked. So I'm a believer in the cures. So I don't know if I'm gonna have to get an inhaler, but I might. We'll see. Anyways, you know what? It doesn't matter. There are bigger fish in the universe than worrying about little asthma. I'm not saying it's not important, because if you stop breathing, that's pretty important. But I don't feel afraid or stressed out. I'm just like, okay, just something to deal with. So I'm glad you guys are here. Thank you for listening to my rambling. By the way, I want to say thank you and give a big shout out to all the people who came out to this weekend's classes. We had a great turnout at our psychic development class. We studied how to open multiple spirit channels to receive multiple voices. It was really cool. People, I think, really got a lot out of that. Everybody said that was amazing. They were able to have some breakthroughs. So glad you guys came out for that. If you're interested in your psychic development, you can register over at PsychicBob.com for classes. Every Saturday, we have psychic development. On Sunday, we had Psychic Bob's Inner Circle, and that was a lot of fun, too. So, there's always something going on. And I want to thank you guys for joining me for astrology. So we're going to spin around our big wheel. Oh, you know what? Should we do our Zodiac wheel song to start off? All right. Everybody get ready. I know some of you are going to run out of the room screaming. The wheel of the Zodiac goes round and round, round and round, round and round. The wheel of the Zodiac goes round and round all the live long day. That's going to get stuck in your head all night, ain't it? Oh my gosh. Well, it's my fault. You can say, damn, that Psychic Bob. He got that song stuck in my head. Oh my gosh. It's so good to see you. Oh, look, there's my buddy Robin Boston. Yay. Thank you, Robin. So glad you're doing better now, Bob. You should get an inhaler. Text come out of nowhere. Robin, thank you. Anyways, I'll have to talk to you later about that. I'll give you a call because I know you were a nurse. If you don't mind if I just ask you a few quick questions, I'd love to talk to you about it. Anyways, we'll talk later. But thank you. Thank you. Robin says, class was great Saturday. It was a lot of fun. We had a great time, didn't we? Robin Boston is a Psychic Bob marathoner. She came to Friday night live readings. She came to Saturday class, Saturday night show, Sunday class, Sunday night show. And Robin, you're back here. If you'd missed tonight, I wouldn't have thought a thing bad about you because you put so much energy in. Thank you for your support. It means a lot. Thank you, guys. You guys rock. All right. Well, we are going to talk about the astrology because I could talk about everything. I love hanging out with you guys, but we do got to get some serious stuff done. Okay. So, all right. By the way, I need to say this astrology forecast is for Monday, November the 28th through Sunday, December the 4th, 2022. So Monday through Sunday this week, the 28th of November through the 4th of December. Okay, you guys got that? All right. Now, everybody, I know I always get a letter. Somebody says, thank you, Bob. The other astrologers do it on Sunday through Monday or Friday. Why do you do it? Because look at me. I believe, this is my personal belief, I think astrology is no good unless it's practical. I don't want to get all in, philosophical. All right. We all start work on Monday. This is our work week. We all got to get into the flow. So I think it makes sense to start it on today and through the weekend so you can get through your work week. That's how I do it. All right. So if you ever wonder what's like about doing on weird dates like Monday through Sunday, that's why. It's practical. Think about it. Okay. All right. Well, this week, let me tell you what's going on. We're starting off this week with our sun in the sign of Sagittarius. And by the way, did you guys see the artwork at the beginning of the show? If you haven't seen it, there's a beautiful picture, and Sagittarius is featured in it, along with Aquarius and Capricorn. Our artwork for our show opening was compliments of Baroness Kolobob. She's been designing some beautiful artworks for me. Baroness, big shout out to you. And, just want to give her some acknowledgement. Everybody give thumbs up, if nothing else, for Baroness's beautiful artwork. If you didn't see it, you're just tuning in. After the show post, go back and look at the thumbnail. It's really beautiful. And that was designed by her. So our sun, thank you, Baroness. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, so our sun is in the sign of Sagittarius, which was that inspired fire power. Happy birthday to our Sagittariuses. you're in your power month and you want to just roll with it and flow with your power. We're in the sun sign of Sagittarius until December 21st. So happy birthday again to all of our Sagittariuses here and everybody watching and wherever you are in the world, you know. All right, we've got our moon in the sign of Aquarius. And you know, Psychic Bob's feeling that because I'm an Aquarius. So it's like firepower. For me, I've been like feeling inspired. I've had a real energy boost. As I said, my health's improving. I really feel like this alignment of that fire sun and that moon in my sign, which is Aries, like opening up my breathing. I know that may sound crazy, you guys, but I really think there's something to it. It's like my illness is being burnt off by the sun and the inner moonlight is opening up air for me. That's how I feel. So that's just my take on it. But it's fire and air, which always opens inspiration and power for communications, okay, and inspired thought. You might start having inspirations right now, you know. But let me tell you, don't get too wild right now, all right? Because let me tell you about some of our challenging aspects that are going on. Right now, we've got Mercury in opposition to Mars. I believe this is a challenging aspect this time around. As I said, some astrologers say oppositions are power times. Some say they're negative times. This one, looking at the alignments, I feel it could be challenging. Mercury in opposition to Mars means that your speech could get a little over aggressive, or you could just be so inspired, but you're not balancing how you speak. So be very careful with your words this week. We also have Mercury sextile Saturn and Mars trine Saturn. Mercury sextile Saturn right now means that you might feel a free flow of speech. Saturn is our planet that deals with judgment or harshness, and sometimes I call it the breaks of the zodiac, but sextile Mercury means you might be a little loose with the tongue as well. We also have Mars trine Saturn, which cranks up inspiration and free flowing. But together, okay, Mercury sextile Saturn, Mars trine Saturn could also create a chaotic situation where everything's just flowing, you're just running your mouth. So be careful with that this week, okay? Because you know, you might get this great thought and you run into work and you're like, I got a great idea. You know, I think we need to axe, you know, that one division of the company, fire those people, get rid of the two bosses. And you might actually be right. But then you realize what you're saying in front of everybody, you've just made a lot of enemies. So be careful. Now, we also have Mercury semi-square the ascendant, which today, starting off for the week, is Aquarius. Mercury semi-square, it's almost like a square. Semi-square is pretty much like a square, which is a blocked aspect. Means that Mercury square Aquarius means that your words could also get you in trouble. So we have a lot of energy here. It's like power flowing, but it's not necessarily balanced. So right now you need to, you know, go into this week, keep your inspiration. That's good. Nothing wrong with that. But slow it down and bring exalted concepts down to earth. You might be so inspired that you're talking in a way that everyone's like, what are they on about? There must be on drugs. You may have brilliant ideas, but you got to ground that in the here and now. This is going to be kind of our challenge this week, because I think throughout the week, all these transits are in motion. And I think we'll all be like feeling it. Like we'll just get like wake up and want to run into work and share our ideas. Think about just zip the lip just a little bit. I'm not saying shut down your speech, but be very careful. Write, you know, I'd say probably the best thing is write down what you want to say, evaluate it, write it down again, the revised version, meditate on it. And then if you feel it's safe, then you share it. I wouldn't rush right into anything. I'm serious about this. All right. So not a crisis, but a little challenge not to lose control, you know. Thank you. All right, so there we go. So that's kind of what's going on in the stars, okay? Now, I was just going to come, well, we'll talk about when we get to Sagittarius as some power plays in motion. All right, so you guys with me? All right, that is kind of the major outline. And by the way, for those of you who are new here, that overview, when I talk about the transits, that affects all 12 zodiac signs. So don't say, Well, Bob, I'm a Taurus. Does that affect me? It affects all of us. We're all under, think of it this way. Wait, that big wheel is above us all. We are all receiving the rays of the planets, the rays of the energy. So just be aware of it. Now, I also got to say, I say it every week, but it really is worth saying again. Don't ever, ever, ever let an astrologer tell you that something is so destined by astrology that you can't ever break out of it and it's just going to happen and you can't do a thing. Never be disempowered by astrology. Astrology gives us insight to the powers around us. We know what we're dealing with. We also have free will as individuals to break out of some of these patterns. So, by knowing, for example, about slow down your speech, right? And knowing where, the power is this week. If, for example, let's say the stars show that there may be an upheaval in your work, right? Well, everybody else is going around freaking out. But you, studying astrology, always say, it's going to be chaotic. I'm going to check my speech. I'm going to work with the energy that's present, not to get caught in the traps. And guess what? Everything goes down. You're centered and calm because you know what's happening. And guess what? You don't end up getting laid off or fired because you don't buy into the drama. Astrology will give you that edge, okay? That's why I'm a believer. It's very practical. And any astrologer that doesn't teach you the practical side of astrology isn't helping you. I mean, I hear these astrologers, and I shouldn't talk about people, but it just bothers me sometimes. They'll get up there and they'll be all pontifical. They'll say, the North Node in alignment with the third house tells us that the world is on its path of destruction. Really? Because I think we're all going to be here next week. Why don't we talk about the North Node and the third house and how it's affecting your individual life? Let's not get so cosmic. I mean, there is a time and a place for that. But I see some stars that are always in this cosmic place. It's like, yeah, but how does it affect us here and now? That's just what I'm about. I'm not saying you have to be about, but at this show, this is how I work. And that'll give you hopefully a little insight into what I do and how I work. So that's why I like to do this, because I think I can hopefully say a prayer, knock on wood, help you guys with this astrology. All right, so now what we're going to do, we're going to look at all 12 zodiac signs. All right, and if you don't know what zodiac sign you are, just listen up. We're going to spin around our big wheel here. You notice on these outer edge of the wheel, these are the signs of the zodiac. Okay, every single person born on the earth has a zodiac sign. If you don't know what your sign is, you've been missing out on a lot of cool stuff. But that's all right. We'll catch you up on that. Because after each sign, I'm going to give you the birth dates for that sign. And just listen up. When you hear the sign, like, for example, Aries is March 21st through April 19th, right? So if you're like, oh, wait, I'm March 28th. Well, guess what? You're in Aries because it starts on March 21st, runs all the way to April 19th, okay? Now, if you're hearing and you're saying, Bob, I think you're a bad astrologer, because the other astrologer over on BitChute told me that Aries starts on March 20th. Now, you said I'm a Pisces because I'm born on March 20th. So am I a Pisces or Aries? You're a bad astrologer. I get this all the time. I'm not a bad astrologer. The fact of the matter is that the zodiac signs wobble. All right. The wheel wobbles a little bit. What was that? Weeble wobbles. They weeble and wobble and don't fall down. And each year it'll shift 1 degree backward or forward. And so, or 1 day, I should say, not a degree, but a day. And so, like next year, in 2023, Pisces might fall on March 21st. It ends the last date. And Aries will start on March 22nd. So what you want to do in that case, you're what we call cusp. Listen to both horoscopes. Neither astrologer is wrong. It really depends on the year. I'm using what is considered the standard dates, but there's a second thing that adjusts for the 1 day adjustment. And either of the lists are valid, okay? So don't get out your panties in a twist. Isn't that what they say? Just listen to both horoscopes. You'll start to feel which one you are. Like, for example, my mother, okay, her birthday is Sagittarius. She was born on November 22nd. Now, according to my list, Sagittarius is November 22nd. But when I actually did her actual astrology, the year she was born was in 1934. Sagittarius didn't start till the 23rd. So she was technically a Scorpio. And this happens with cusp. Well, when I tried to gently bring this up to her, she had a major freak out. She's like, I am not a Scorpio. I'm a Sag. I was born a Sag. I've been a Sag all my life. But truthfully, she was a Scorpio. But because she's on the cusp, she had a lot of Sagittarian traits. I always felt my mother was a Scorpio. That's what got me looking into that. And I started researching, and then I found out that she really was a Scorpio. So, but in her case, she believed it, she claimed it, and that's okay. So don't get in a worry about it. All right, so we're going to go around our wheel, all 12 zodiac signs. So listen up. Our first sign on our wheel is Aries, and that's March 21st through April 19th. Okay. Aries, right now, you've got Jupiter square the North Node in your second house, and you also have Jupiter sextile Pluto in the second house. This is a week where you want to really focus on shorter term goals for success. Don't try to get people on the same page with you. You might be looking 10 years ahead because of all this inspiration energy, but particularly in talking with people, if you're trying to do business deals or, jobs, focus more immediate this week. The reason why is that Jupiter squared the North Node in the second house means that people aren't going to be able to push it further out. Okay, now Jupiter sextile Pluto gives you a lot of partnership and alignment energy, but to keep that alignment, that energy, really it's going to be about, we're all together, let's talk about the next week. And if you can start your discussions, like when you're dealing with particularly business stuff, I feel this relates to, from that angle, then you're going to rock it this week, okay? So your work, Aries, even though you Aries, I think this week, honestly, Aries are going to be feeling so inspired by all this energy of the planets that, with all these Martian transits and Mercury transits, that they're going to want to talk about the bigger picture, but focus on the smaller picture. All right, because the people that are going to be with you in the bigger picture will eventually get there, but not this week. All right, they're not going to, if you want to not sink your ship, as they say, all right, if you don't want to sink your ship, keep it focused. Let's talk about what we can do in the next week or the next month. Though you know what's coming in 10 years. Just keep it short and simple for right now. All right, guys, got that? Because this is really important that you get this for success, okay? You with me? All right. So your key word this week, Aries, is focus, like short-term focus, I guess that's it. Sometimes it's hard to get down to one word, but it's short-term focus. All right, we're cheating a little bit, but there's your key word. All right, woo, glorified. All right, next sign on our wheel is Taurus. Taurus's birth dates are April 20th through May 20th. Right now, your sign is moving through the third house. You got some challenging Uranus aspects going on in the third house right now. You've got to be very careful. Third house deals with our family relationships. And Taurus, you want to avoid conflicts. You may find that your family is going mental. If you're a Taurus, you're like, what is going on? Everybody's arguing, bickering, trying to drag me into it. You Taurus individual, you get PsychicBob's permission, but more than you get the universe permission to opt out. You just tell the family, I love you guys, but I'm not getting involved. This is one of these situations, this Uranian alliance just means you're not going to get anywhere. It's not going to work. And so you can't really win. The best, I guess I'd say for Taurus, the best advice I can give you this week is retreat from the conflict. Don't even try to win it. Don't try to take sides. You will lose. Even if you're with somebody who you truly believe in and try to back that, you will lose. So this week, Taurus, if you see your family, this is predominantly for Taurus's family. Now, people say, well, Bob, could that be my work family? Yes. I say whoever you define as family. I should probably explain that. But traditional astrology means more blood tie relatives, siblings, and parents. But I'm not so old-fashioned in the way I believe family can be a bigger definition. But if I were an ultra traditional astrologer, it does mean more bloodline family, according to the astrology charts. So be careful for conflict, opt out, choose to retreat. All right. So there's your key word this week, Taurus: retreat from the conflict, retreat. All right. You got it? And that's a little hard for Taurus because you guys like to have your opinions and you get in your views, but you can't. You're going to have to be like an Aquarius and just drift into the ethers. All right. And that'll be the best thing. All right. Blessings to you, Taurus. Thank you so much. All right. Next sign on our wheel is Gemini. Gemini. May 21st through June 20th. All right, Geminis. Right now, Gemini, you're going to feel pulled in two directions. This may be a week where you feel like you want to do your duty, all right, honor your family, support those who you're are required to support. Like you may be, for example, taking care of an elderly family member, or you might be feeling like I have to do this job because, I need to bring in the extra money. The other challenging aspect is that you've got a lot of Martian transits here that are inspiring you to just fly and be free. And you've got Mars square Neptune and then Mars trine Saturn. That Mars trine Saturn gives you a lot of inspiration to just kind of break the reins. But that Mars square Neptune means you feel stuck. And you've got all this going on in the fourth house, which also deals with family and duty. So this week, try to give yourself some quiet time. Geminis, don't be a slave to the concepts of what you must do. But at the same time, do not just go radical and walk out on everything. This is going to require Geminis to walk through the week with patience. And I know that's not a pleasant horoscope to hear. But as I say, forewarned is forearmed. So when you're starting to feel overwhelmed, Psychic Bob's telling you, step back, look at everything from a distance, and then start again, and you're going to get through it. You may have to break down your day. Some days, I got to get through 5 minutes at a time. These people are driving me crazy. That's all right. You're going to get through this week. Don't give up on your inspiration. So if you can't go off and follow your dream, let's say you want to go to Broadway, be an actor, but you're stuck taking care of your great-grandmother, right? Well, don't worry about it. Take care of your great-grandmother. But in the evening when she's resting, start working on your resume that you're going to send to New York. You can honor your inspiration and still do your duty this week. And a time will come where you'll get that freedom. This transit is not forever, but this week you'll particularly just feel it, Anyways, I hope that helps a little bit. Lady Jane says, again, not a strong Gemini trait, patience. Well, I know. I'm sorry. People say, Bob, you just make the horoscopes what people want to hear. No, I don't. I tell it truly as it is. Because if I just made you happy today, then the rest of the week you'd be like, well, Bob said it was going to be a happy, easy week. And the truth is, it can be, provided you understand this. All right. So, yeah, Gemini's and patience, sometimes that's a little challenging. All right. There's Cancer. All right. You got that, Geminis? So balance your inspiration with your duty. Just walk the middle road this week. All right. You'll be all right. You'll get through it. All right. Next sign on our wheel is Cancer. And Cancer is June 21st through July 22nd. Actually, Cancer, you're a little bit like Gemini. You're working on balance also this week. You want to I can't talk. Focus your balance on work and play. Now, according to what I'm seeing, Cancer, it says that you should indulge in both. So don't just blow off work and not care, but do not neglect playtime. It's essential, Cancer, that you sometimes step back totally from the work and just have fun. There's a lot of light playfulness around you, like romantic stuff this week. So, have some flirtation. If you're single and looking, build that into your week because there's definitely some romantic overtures in the alignments around Cancer this week. And you want to, this is also a good week, interestingly, to move ahead in career for Cancers. So if you're feeling that inspiration that we're all going to be feeling, channel that inspiration this week into your work. Find out, say, well, you know what? I could go apply for that job this week. My boss told me about it last month, and I never got around to apply. Go ahead and work on it. Work and play. But then come 5 o'clock and you're done, make sure not to stay in the office. Go out with Susie Q down from the typing pool and have fun. All right. There you go. Do they still have typing pools? I don't even know if they have that. Hey, how many of you remember typing pools? They used to have in companies like entire room of secretaries. And so like I would like make a voice dictation memo and send it down the typing pool and they would type it up. I don't know if they even do that anymore. Anyways, interesting. All right, so you got a Cancer. Walk the line of balance just like the Geminis. All right. Next sign on our wheel is Leo, July 23rd through August 22nd. Leo, this is a little bit of an introspective week. Your sign is transversing the 7th house now, which deals with issues around love, relationships, how you feel about yourself, how you take care of yourself. And so you want to really right now think about, are you loving to yourself? Okay. And if you're a Leo saying, I feel like I want to be in a relationship, but I'm struggling, this week say, how do I love myself? And if you learn to love yourself, Leo, and accept you as you, don't feel like you have to be perfect, then guess what? Your energy aligns with the cosmos and you'll be in an energy vortex to draw to yourself somebody into your life. And if you're a Leo and you say, well, Bob, how does that apply to me? I'm already in a relationship. Okay. Then maybe you're neglecting yourself in the relationship. Maybe your relationship's challenged because you're not nurturing yourself. So there's a lot of self-reflection and self-nurturing for Leos. And for Leos, that may be a little challenging because they tend to be bigger than life and out in the world. But this week, Leo, it's more inner work. Let that inner work guide you. Do it. It's not always fun. It's a little challenging, but you will rock it. And at the end of the week, you'll be like, you know what? I'm glad I went through that. All right. So there you go. Love yourself. There's your words. I'm having trouble getting everything down to one key word this week because the alignments are like very complex, Amy Radcliffe says, I remember typing polls. I'm so glad. Sometimes, I was saying to somebody the other day, I said, Psychic Bob's getting a little older. Of course, between facelifts and hair dye, you'll never know how old I am. But you wake up, any of you who are a little older will realize this. You wake up eventually one day and you suddenly realize you are not the cool hip dude who knows everything anymore. I'm so out of touch. I don't know who the latest artists are. Nobody knows what I'm talking about half the time. They're like, what? Typing polls? What? What? You didn't have a cell phone? What? Landline phone? What are you talking about? I think I'm still stuck in the 70s and 80s sometimes. Anyways. But you know what? I'm glad somebody knows what I'm talking about. If I ever talk about concepts here and y'all are like, what the hell is he talking about? Please tell me in the chat because sometimes I just, forget time has moved on, Scott from South Carolina says, fax machines are on their way out. I love that. That's true. My last printer, Scott, they had a selling feature on the box, built-in fax machine. I thought, gosh, now that's something I haven't seen in a while. Anyways. Amsterdam says, stop it, Bob. Compared to you, I'm dust in a dress. So you remember typing pools then. Dust in a dress. That's cute. You're not dust in a dress. I really believe age is just a number. I don't care. I feel like, the older I get, I enjoy life more. I really do. All right. So what's our next sign? I lost my spot here. We did Leo. Okay. Virgo. Hello, Virgo. V for Virgo. August 23rd through September 22nd. All right. All the Virgos. You got the Cupid around you this week. Ooh, Cupid power. Your sign is firmly moving in the 7th house, which is making you be open to romance and goddess nurturing energy. Now, if you're a Virgo and say, Bob, I don't want no love in my life, I'm done with romance, I had enough with all that craziness, then take it as that the love is the goddess. The sign of Virgo is the great ancient mother goddess. There was a time on the earth where they believed that the divine was masculine and feminine. As a Wiccan, I believe in the concept of mother, father, God, dual divinity. And you can say, I will align with the love of the goddess, the nurturing love. But Virgo, I'm going to tell you, just when you think you're done, as the Desiderata says, in the face of all aridity and disenchantment, love is as perennial as the grass. Means it just pops up when you least expect it. So this week, Virgo, it's about nurturing love, embracing emotional wholeness, emotional healing, loving yourself, loving others, letting, this is the key part, letting others love you. Because it shows that Virgo's in an alignment that means go on a date, Virgo. And you're like, I can't believe that person asked me out on a date. Just say yes. If they're not like a crazy serial stalker or something. I mean, within reason, okay? So, but if it's like the guy down the street who you see all the time at the coffee shop and you run into him, it's like, hey, I was thinking maybe we could hang out, go bowling next week. And you're like, he just asked me out on a date. Go ahead and say yes. Why not? Stars are bringing it into your life. You might as well, what do we say? Name it and claim it. Name it and claim it. All right, there you go, Virgo. So this week is all about love. Be open to love. Let love reign. Love is your key. What's that song? Love is the answer. Love is the answer. Who knows why? Someday we all must die. We're all hopeless boys and girls, and we are never sure. It's such a lonely, lonely world. People turn their heads and walk on by. Tell me, is it worth just another try? Light of the world, shine on Virgo. Love is the answer. Shine on us all, set us free. Love is the answer. There you go. At this channel, just be warned, sometimes Psychic Bob spontaneously breaks into song. I can't help it, especially on Monday. Virgo, I think you got the message. All right, there you go. That'll cement it in your mind. Now you got a better song than the Zodiac song. All right, there we go. Everybody can think of a happier song. All right, so Virgo, there you go. All right, next sign on our wheel is Libra, September 23rd through October 22nd. Woo! Libra, this week your heart is big. I mean, Libras always have a big. I love Libras. All my best friends are Libras. Your sign right now is transgressing, passing through the 8th house. This is the house that says I circulate. I bring to the world my blessings. And this is really for you, Libra, about practicing acts of kindness and generosity and charity. What is that saying they used to say? It was a bumper sticker. Practice random acts of kindness and senseless acts of beauty. I think that's it. Anybody remember that? Practice random acts of kindness and senseless acts of beauty. That is the horoscope for Libra. And you know what, Libra? This won't be hard. You won't be feeling like, oh, I got to go give money to the homeless shelter. It's going to be like, you know what? I want to give homeless shelter some money. And not only do I want to give them money, I'm going to go down this week and serve in the food kitchen and do some work. Let that inspiration to give, take it and run with it, Libra, because you will not only be blessed, you're going to bless a lot of people around you. And isn't it great when we can help people? Sometimes we get all up in ourselves, like, I don't got time to help anybody. I don't care. I got to get through things myself. And Libra, if you're feeling a little overwhelmed, walk away from everything this week and serve. Serve others. Do good. Sylvia Brown used to say this, and I love Sylvia Brown, and she said it. I heard she came through me in a seance that even said it. And she said, listen, this is what spirituality is all about. She said, don't make it complex. She used to say, keep it simple. She said, love God, love your neighbor, do some good in the world while you're here. And when it's all done, just shut up and go home. All right, you got that? I love that. That's Sylvia Brown philosophy. I didn't create that. I got to give her credit. She's the master on that. And that's where Libra needs to keep it this week. So Libra, you got your marching orders. Get out there and do some good in the world. I don't hear, I don't feel good. I'm not up to it. I got too much on my plate. You just do it. Just do it. You will be blessed and others will be blessed. Wouldn't you want to be a source of blessing, Libra? Of course you do. All right. So there's your marching orders. Thank you, Libra. Hope you got it. All right. One of my glasses are dark. I can't see my notes here. You know, I chicken scratch all my notes. You want to see my notes for the show I'm reading? How you like all that crazy chicken scratch? Isn't that crazy? You're like, how do you read that? I don't know how I read it. All right. So that's what I'm trying to read here. All right. So our next sign wheel is Scorpion. That's October 23rd through November 21st. You know, Scorpio, right now you're aligning with the South Node in your 9th house. This is about life lessons, looking to the past, understanding history, and coming out of that experience with a new view, you know? So Scorpio, you want to look to the past, figure out what you missed. Maybe there's something you were supposed to study or learn, and you just skipped it when you were younger, but it's reappearing in your life. Now, this doesn't necessarily have to be big and complex and life-changing. It could be as simple as something like, gee, when you were younger, you had a chance to take karate in school and you skipped it and just blew it off and never really did learn karate. But maybe lately there's a new karate dojo in your neighborhood and you keep walking by and go, I wish I'd learned karate when I was younger. Well, that's a sign from the past coming back and to say you missed something that could really bless your life, that you could learn from, that could change your view, you know? Get a new view this week, Sagittarius. Get a new view from looking to the past and re-exploring lessons that you have forgotten. Revisit it, dare to explore it. Maybe you're a Sagittarius and you always thought, you know, I always wanted to read up on the Civil War because my area was a Civil War area. You think, I just really don't know much about it. Well, this week, make it a point. Go to the Civil War battlegrounds. Make it up close and personal. Learn from the experts at the museums and at the battlegrounds. Find out what it is you missed. Maybe you have a past life link there, and somehow you skipped learning about because it was too much for you to handle. But now when you start studying it, it will open up your past life knowledge, and you'll have a whole wealth of knowledge. So lessons from the past will be revisited this week with Scorpio. And they will, if you dare to go there, amazing things will happen. How you like that? All right. That song I was singing is called Love is the Answer. Yes. Scott from South Carolina said Dan Fogelberg. Love is the answer. That's right. All right. Yeah, Melinda's got it. She's that song Bob just sang was from the end of the 70s. That's right. All right. Scorpio seems to like it. All right. Very good. Hi, Gary M. You like it? Very good. All right. Next, where were we? I just lost my spot here. Next sign on our wheel is Sagittarius. Hello, Sagittarius. November 22nd through December 21st. You know, Sag, you of all the signs have a very simple horoscope this week. And it doesn't have to be complex. You got those that Mars and Sun both in your sign. Mars is that inspiration. Sun is wisdom. And the horoscope that I looked at, the alignments that I got for Sagittarius this week was speak simply and listen to others. You have all the power of speech and communication in the heightened light of inner wisdom. So keep it very simple. Speak simply and listen to others. That is your work this week, Sag. How you like that? You know, some people have really hard, complex horoscopes to get through. But that's it for Sag. Speak simply and listen to others. You'll find that you may change your life, Sagittarius, in ways that you have. Maybe you're a Sagittarius who always has to have an opinion. I got to say this and this and this and this. And that's not necessarily bad. But maybe this week, try a new way. Say, you know what? I'm only going to speak, and I'm going to limit my speaking to one sentence on a thought or an explanation. Try this and say, how can I condense a complex statement into just a few words? Be like a Zen master. Zen masters are amazing. I knew a lot of Zen masters when I was in my 20s. And they had a way of teaching you an entire lesson with one word or even one gesture. I had a teacher, Reverend Suji. Many of you heard me talk about him many years back in the 90s, like 30 years ago. And Reverend Suji, one time I went to him. This is an example of how this all works for Sages. And I was like, Reverend Suji, all this stuff's going on in my life. I'm so upset. I'm just foaming at the mouth with drama. And he looks at me and he said, well, now it's time to forget all that. That's all he said. But in that moment, I had profound experience. And I realized that in that moment, I was holding on to stuff in my mind. I was creating my own whirlwind. And when he said that, it changed my whole world. He sat there in his Japanese robes. It was like in a movie scene. Kind of like, do you remember Mr. Miyagi and Karate Kid? Reverend Suji was literally like Mr. Miyagi. They were like they could be brothers. And he sits there in his Japanese robes with his little teacup. He literally was like Mr. Miyagi. I'm not joking. He says, well, now you have to forget all that. I said, but Sensei, you don't know. You're done. That's all. Just forget that. He wasn't blowing me off, but what he did is he awakened me to the fact that all that stuff in my head, irrelevant. And I was making drama and crises in my mind. Changed me forever, forever. I'll never forget it. All right, so Sag, I want you to think about that this week. Speak simply and listen to others. Because you know what Reverend Suji did? He listened. I knew he heard every word I said. But when he spoke simply. It changed my life. To this day, I'm still better for it. You see what I'm saying? All right, you guys with me? All right. So Sagittarius, since you don't know Reverend Suji, I want you to go watch Karate Kid. That's part of your homework. And study the teachings of Mr. Miyagi. That's how you want to be. You want to be a Mr. Miyagi. Okay? There you go. You'll bless others and your life will get better. Trust me. All right. Woo! Capricorn. Now, who do we know here who's in the chat as a Capricorn? I think Baroness is a Capricorn. All right, Capricorn, this is an interesting week for you. By the way, I do not write the horoscopes to please Cola for Capricorn. I write it as it is. Somebody wrote to me and said, you make your girlfriend's horoscope especially nice. No, I don't. Some weeks is bad. Let me tell you what's going on, Capricorn. Right now, you've got Pluto in the 12th house. What that means, dream deep. Explore the hidden occult mysteries. That all the answers and all the power are actually inside of you. You don't have to go seeking it in the world. It's already within. But this is a week for retreat, withdrawal from the world, sleep deep, dream deep. Make your intention that when you go to sleep this week, every night you go to sleep, you will receive inner wisdom. That the planets are aligned to really give you that. You may have a sense of the movement of eons or the cosmos. You may have a very profound mystical kind of awakening to your place in life in the cosmos and how it all starts to fit together. You'll see what appears to be chaos in structures and forms in a new way. So dream deep, discover the mystery, and then you're going to rock it. There you go, Capricorn. All right. Our next sign on our wheel is Aquarius, and that's January 20th through February 18th. All right, Aquarius. Now, see, this is an example where I don't rig the horoscopes, because somebody wrote to me a few months ago. They're like, PsychicBob, it always seems that the Aquarius is always specially good. I think you write it for yourself to make yourself happy. I said, no, I put it actually as it is. Right now, let me tell you, Aquarius, if I wanted to write it happy, I don't know how I'd do it with this alignment. Right now, we got Saturn square Uranus. Who that is, that's a challenging aspect. That means people are going to act harsh, erratic, crazy around me. Aquarius, this week, what you've got to do is like I said earlier to the, what was it, the Tauruses, opt out of the insanity. You and Taurus have a similar alignment this week, a little different, but similar. Saturn, which is traditionally or has been in the past the ruling planet of Aquarius. And what's this ironic? Saturn is the ancient ruling planet back in the Roman days. The modern day Aquarius is ruled by Uranus. Both of Aquarius's ruling planets are on a very negative aspect. And Saturn deals with harshness and extremes. Uranus is literally like revolutionary insanity. And the square means it's just all out war. So Aquarius this week, you just opt out of the insanity. You say, okay, I see the people at my work acting crazy. Everybody's throwing jabs my way. Aquarius, you might just feel under attack this week. Don't take it personally. Everybody around you is just acting crazy because of that planetary alignment around you. They're feeling and they're acting it out. So Aquarius, you just got to be footloose and fancy free to say, okay, whatever they say, just agree with everybody. Don't try to defend yourself, because guess what? With this alignment, nobody will listen to you. And what's worse is they'll twist your words and make you the bad guy. So the less you say, the less you get involved, the better it will be. If you have an opportunity, Aquarius, to kind of postpone some meetings till next week that you think will be volatile, I would do that. I think you'll have the greater edge by next week. So just opt out of the insanity, all right? As an Aquarius, you're up in the clouds. A lot of times people say Aquariuses are not grounded. They're all up in the ethers. Well, you know what? This week, Aquarius, that might be a good place to be. So you have Psychic Bob's permission. I would dare say even the cosmos's permission to be up in the ethers and stay out of the earth craziness. All right? Really, that's what you got to do. Just float through the week. Don't get caught up in it. Don't defend yourself. Don't argue. Especially don't argue. This alignment really shows the daggers will come out at you. So please, if you want to have the value of astrology, please, by all means, listen to me on this. Because this alignment really shocked me. And the thing is, I forgot to say, it's also in the first house, which means it could turn very public. The first house is about you being seen and being in the world. But all this negativity means almost like the more you're out and about in the world, the more you're a target. So you can kind of withdraw from that. It's going to be a little harder than usual because you are aligned heavily in the first house with these two ruling planets, which really gives you visibility. But knowing that, now you won't get trapped in the snares. Now, don't panic, Aquarius. I think it's funny because of all these horoscopes, Aquarius, I think, has one of the most challenging horoscopes of the week. And see, so somebody accused me of rigging the horoscope to make Aquarius always good. I wish I could, but I can't. All right. You guys with me? All right. Lady Jane. Bears Coleman goes, LOL, watch out for the nutters, Bob. And Lady Jane says, so we get to dream without any sleep, and Bob's got all the crazies around him, and he can't even try to defend himself. It's just what it is, right? It is what it is. So, Luckily, I got Baroness Colabobs, at least at YouTube on chat as my guardian. She can tear them apart because she's my little Jack Russell Terrier pit bull. But I'm not going to get into it with anybody this week. So if you're going to call Psychic Bob's office, because I have this, people call me, it's the strangest thing. People that I don't even know on YouTube will call me up and just want to argue. They'll call me and say, I saw you on YouTube and I cannot stand you. And I hate psychics and you're a bad person. And why you waste people's time with this bullshit? Oh, I mean, this stuff, excuse me. Sorry about my language. But I get that literally. And then there were times where I'll get into a discussion with them, try to persuade. This week, I'm not even returning the call. So if you're calling Psychic Bob's office to argue and say you don't like my work or whatever, don't even bother. I'm not even answering the phone. Okay. But I will answer the phone for readings. All right, there we go. And our next side of our wheel. All right, Aquarius, I got you guys straight. Don't panic. Just you know what to do. All right. Next side of our wheel is Pisces, February 19th through March 20th. Oh, this is a really good week for Pisces. Okay, let me tell you why. This week, it's all about channeling. And it's all about channeling wealth and success. Now, there's some alignments around Pisces that indicate that people may not feel confident in you, but it says that you overcome that through the channeling process. So raising your consciousness and letting spirit infuse this in will break you out of patterns of doubt by others. This week, Pisces, you are in a powerful aspect to channel wealth and power to you. Now, I don't say that in a grandiose, self-glamorizing way. It'd be all about greed and wealth and power. From a spiritual place, wealth is a tool. So if you can use those tools for good, there's nothing wrong with wealth. I always tell people, I have sometimes people come for a reading and say, Psychic Bob, I just started a company and I've made over $1 million this year and I've been poor all my life. Now I have money and I don't know what to do. And I feel guilty. I have this all the time. People feel guilty about their wealth. And I say to them, did you step on anybody's toes to get that $1 million? No. Did you do everything honestly and honorably? Yes. I said, then you worked yourself? Yes. You didn't steal from nobody? No. I said, then you don't have anything to feel guilty about. You feel guilty because you feel like it's not fair that you have that. Like, yeah, I guess so. I said, don't. Your wealth is a tool. You can now change the world. So I tell them, I said, take some of that $1 million and set up a scholarship fund for, impoverished students. Maybe, set up a little scholarship for local high school students so they have money to go to school. See, when we have wealth, we can do great things, So this week, Pisces, is all about channeling wealth and success to you and turning doubters into believers and your ability to be successful. So this week, but the secret is, Pisces, you got to first believe in yourself. Don't self-condemn. Don't, try to act like, that you're going to be, less than. You believe in yourself. If you believe in yourself and you open your channel, opening the channel, people ask me, how complex is channeling? I say channeling can be very complex or it can be very simple. One of the simplest ways to start to open your channel is to simply say, I choose to receive from the higher power. God, Goddess, the cosmos, the wheel of the zodiac, whatever you call your higher power. I choose. I'm open to receiving. And that invocation will start your channel. And especially for Pisces this week, you want to focus on that. All right. Now, everybody can channel. You don't have to just be a Pisces this week. But for Pisces, this alignment really gives them power. And so focus your channeling, Pisces, on wealth, power, and success. These are tools that you can then use to help others. Don't be afraid of money. When I was younger, I had a fear of money. I used to think, well, if I'm a spiritual person, I shouldn't have anything. And I, for many years, was very poor on the edge of homelessness. And at one point did become homeless. My teacher corrected that thinking. She said, you should try to make money and be in the world. I said, but I'm spiritual. I shouldn't worry about this money. And when people would offer me money for psychic work, I never would take it. I just felt it was wrong. And she said, listen, she said, you chose to come into this body, into a physical world. The rules of this physical world operate on principles of exchange. You can't participate in your life unless you have some opportunities for exchange. And she said, it's unspiritual. In fact, it's less spiritual to reject the material world since you came here to learn from it. God wanted you to come here. You chose to come here in alignment with the spirit people, the angels, and God to be part of this experience. And part of this experience is having money and experiencing what that's like to win money, to lose money, to trade money is part of our human experience. Once I started to understand that, I was free from that. And so I wanted to encourage those of you who may struggle with that horoscope to think about that. Okay? So there you go. Baroness just says, money makes the world go round, but so many people are greedy and selfish. They use it in the wrong ways when material items don't really matter. That's true. I know there's a lot of bad in the world, but also a lot of material things are necessary. I would say for that poor child who's going to college, you can't afford a textbook. Your donation to a scholarship fund gives him money to buy a book. That he needs that book. He needs that laptop. So let's not eschew the material world. I feel happy and honored to receive payment for my work. So many people are so generous at the show. They donate. I'm very thankful for that. I don't take it for granted. And I'm thankful. And with my teacher's understanding, now I can value it in such a way like these people gave of their time and effort to be here and to give of their substance. And so I try to give back to you, all of you, my substance every day. And I appreciate it. So we have a good rapport with all of us. So for you Pisces that are struggling with channeling wealth, channeling power, don't be afraid. Just make sure you use it for good and you'll have no problems. All right. Anyways, we're a little over our time tonight. I felt that there was a lot to talk about. And I ramble. But I want to see if anybody has any questions. I'll just take a few astrology. I'm not doing psychic readings. It's my day off. But I will answer any astrology questions anybody wants to throw out. If anybody's thinking about something. There's Sue Walinta. Hi, Sue. Yay. It's so interesting how, the universe is also interconnected. The older I get, I really get a sense of like everything really matters, Amsterdam says, I'm excited for the week to practice channeling spirit. There you go. Work on that, Amsterdam. So you got the power flowing. Scott from South Carolina asks, how are leap years handled in the Zodiac? I don't think it's really counted in. I think whatever your birthday is, it still exists. Even if in the current calendar year, like, they cut February short, it doesn't matter. Whatever day you were born on is what your sign is. So that's how it's accounted for. It's a good question, though. Oh, that's nice. Lady Jane says, I go out into the community when I have surplus and give shopping bags of food to the elderly. That's beautiful. See, that's the way we should all be, You guys are the best. Thank you so much. Baroness, thank you, Bears. Sue Walinta says, I have been feeling the spirit world closer to me this past week. There must be positive energies in the stars. Yes, you're feeling that because with our sun in Sagittarius, that opens up fire energy, which is like spirit power. Traditionally, spirit is thought of as fire. And we're in a sun sign right now that opens up a lot more kind of power for feeling that. We're right now also in the moon sign of Aquarius, which makes us very etheric. So yes, that's why there's definitely an influence, I think. Hi, Laura Gonzalez. Laura says, do you advise to also listen to the rising sign? I believe in the rising sign and the moon sign. I say listen to all of them because you'll get a different perspective. So if you know what your rising sign is, listen to the astrology around that. Rising sign, though, is more superficial, in my opinion. It's more of how you appear in the world. It may not necessarily be how you really are. I mean, it's an outward self, whereas the moon sign is more your true inner self and how you perceive it. So you might appear to be an extrovert. You might have a Leo rising sign, but actually inside you're more of a Pisces, which is a very different energy. So I think it's definitely worth looking at, but I'm more of a moon, like I believe in the sun side has most power and then the moon side. Oh, that's nice. Scott says, I used to snowblow my elderly neighbor's driveway. He would come out and say, don't waste your gas on me. Scott, that's really nice. My dad used to do that too. And the neighbors were so touched. We had an elderly neighbor who had cancer, and my dad took care of his lawn. And it was beautiful to see. It really inspired me watching my dad do that. Well, hold on. Laura Gonzalez has a question. She says, holy smokes, I am Leo rising and Pisces sun. Oh, isn't that interesting? I was just saying those signs. That came out. Honestly, I did not know that, Laura. That's why. I guess I channeled it. That's really cool. See? So your rising sign would show you as a bigger than life person. Now, a lot of people that are celebrities have Leo or Leo rising because they can project themselves out into the world. But your true self is a more quiet person, a mystic. And inside you feel things very deeply. You feel connected to dreams and inner worlds rather than wanting to be wrapped up in the world, probably. Of course, I'm generalizing here because to truly know something, you have to see the entire chart, Anyways, listen, guys, I'm going to wrap it. I just realized it's almost 8:30. I need to have some dinner. I'm trying to honor my body and keep a regular eating schedule and take my vitamin C. But I've enjoyed being here with you guys tonight. And I thank you for joining us. I hope you've enjoyed this and had fun. If you tuned in late, go back and see the whole from the beginning because we covered a lot of stuff on the major transits this week and all the other signs. So I hope that you enjoy this. Oh, thank you, Robin. Robin says, thank you, Bob. Great forecast. Robin and I go back. She remembers astrology in the old days when we used to hand do them on paper. A lot of you guys don't know. I'll see if I can find an example to show you next week. But we used to hand do astrology charts. And some people made a whole business out of not just doing a chart, but they'd do it in an artistic way. They would actually paint your chart and put in symbols and colors. It was really, back in the 70s, was you used to see. You don't see it much anymore. Thank you, Scott. Scott says, 22 thumbs up. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, guys. Thank you for your thumbs up. Listen, if you haven't done so, make sure to subscribe to my channel. Thank you for your support. It's time to Netflix and chill. Yes, that's right. Baron said we're going to watch Wednesday tonight. I'm watching Wednesday. Oh my gosh, I love it. I got to do a little poll here. Do y'all think that Nicola is a little like Wednesday? Some of you haven't seen her picture, but I have to put a picture up for her. She looks like Wednesday, actually. And her attitude when she's in a bad mood, she is definitely Wednesday. She can slice you to the core. You don't even realize it. I love it. All right. I even started calling her Wednesday. Guys, listen, thank you for being here. You guys rock. We'll be back here. Scott from South Carolina says, I can picture Cola as Wednesday. If you want to see what Cola, I mean, she physically looks like Wednesday. Like that's what she looks like. I just love it. Go see it on Netflix. I'm not being endorsed by Wednesday's production or Netflix, but I'm telling you, it is great. All right. Yeah, visit Baroness Cola Bob's Instagram. And you can see her. All right, guys, I love you. Thank you for being here. And remember, I got to say it before I go real quick. Remember, if you are at a time of struggle in your life, don't give in to despair. Just pause, take a deep breath, and look to the stars. For the wheel of the Zodiac is forever spinning. And what that means is that each day brings new alignments of power and hope into our lives. So let the stars be your allies on your journey. Keep a little faith, a little hope, a little love in your heart, and you're going to get through. Thanks for being here. You guys are, I forgot, be here tomorrow, 12 o'clock noon for live stream messages from the spirit world, 12 o'clock noon Eastern. That's 12 Eastern, noontime, 11 Central, 10 a.m. Mountain, 9 a.m. Pacific. For those of you in Europe, tomorrow's show will be 5 p.m. London time, 6 p.m. Paris time. I hope to see you there. I love you guys. Blessings to all of you, and good night.